welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Making Memories Monday. We are documenting October and today I'm gonna create the layout for stories 20 through 22. If you've been with me for a while, you will know that I have finished one full book already for this season. It's gotten quite large, so we have switched to another book here to finish out this holiday season. If you are new around here, welcome. I hope you will consider hitting that subscribe button to join our crafty little family and follow along with the progress of my book. So I'm going to pick out this insert and work along on my layouts. I do have some updates for you on the progress of my book. So what I want to do is complete the actual books in the next 2 weeks. So that gives us 2 more Making Memories Monday. And so I believe that 8 stories will be okay. If there are other things that I want to share, I can incorporate the pictures for those into my pocket folder that I plan to include. But I think if I stick to 8 more stories, I can pretty much finish this out. And then we can start documenting December, the second week into December, and then we can work on that project from there. And I may also steal one of my tutorial Wednesdays and just go through and work on some finishing touches. There's some trims and details that I can add to further personalize this and make it more fun. So I think that is what we're going to do, and that way we'll have all of this October project wrapped up and then we can dig in to December. So as of today, we're back from spending time with Army Son and his wife. We had a very nice holiday, and so I'm ready to get started on my layout. I wanted to share with you very quickly that one of the covers of my inserts has come off, but it's not a big deal because I can just have this more as a dashboard and keep it wrapped around. So all of my pages will be in the correct order. And we did finish up our snow day layout last time. I did not create a video Monday last week because there were other things that had to be a priority over creating a video. So we're gonna just pick back up from there. So this one has a story of going to Irish Hills. They have a Haunting in the Hills haunted walkthrough attraction. So the tech hubby and I really love jump scares and haunted walkthroughs. So this was a really fun time. It wasn't too far from our house and the weather was absolutely beautiful. So we did go to dinner and then we went through this attraction. I got a couple of pictures here. This one is giving me definite slasher movie vibes. And this was at Irish Hills, and I think all of my Michigan peeps will know where that is. You can let me know in the comments if you're a Michigan peep. They have a couple of different walkthroughs. So one is a train, and then they have their actors through there, and then it continues on outside, and then there's another one that's fully inside. But they also have some additional fun things to visit. It's a Old West style town, and so they really kind of incorporate that into the theme of their decorating. And they also have this really fun hearse. If you are also from Michigan, you will know where hell is. Please don't demonetize me, YouTube, for saying that. But that's an actual place, and it's not too far from where we live. And they have an event every year where people customize hearses and they go, and it's kind of a cool vibe. But they have one here, and it's kind of spooky looking, and they had a fog machine, so it kind of made everything a little bit extra creepy. So here's the pictures. I want to start incorporating more pictures into each layout just so that I can have them all documented. So we'll do one for this page that's large, and then these are going to tuck into a pocket. So I just cut my paper a little bit wider than what I needed so that I could score it and fold it over here and create a pocket. I know that I have been very adamant about not adding a lot of extra bulk to the center of the book, but I think the trade-off here will be worth it because I can incorporate 4 different pictures into this, and that will save us additional layouts. So the first thing I want to do is just add this to the cover, and then I'm going to put a little bit of my Tombow just on the edges here so that it doesn't take up too much space and it makes a very secure pocket to hold my pictures. I'm going to have my clear block here that I only use for weighting things down, and that will hold that together while I continue working along. So I'll start by adding some details to these pictures. I've got a tag that was part of a sticker set. I'm going to add that to the back. That not only adds a little detail to the edge, but gives me a small amount of extra room to add some of these details. So I've just got this cute little banner that has a pumpkin, and I'm going to also add one of my die cut stars. You can see how those kind of overlap the edge, but they are fully supported by that tag. So a couple last details for this set of pictures is just some sentiment strips, and you can see how that will be easy to pull in and out of the pocket. For this page, I'm going to add the tag to the top just so that it will have a more of a layering effect. Here is another star, and rather than going for the strips, I went for a larger sentiment with a more unique shape. So I've got a couple of sentiment strips just to add to the bottom. That helps to cover a little bit of that parking lot. And so those are ready to add to my pocket. Now this larger picture, I'm going to continue adding the layering of stickers. So I've got that tombstone, a star, and a sentiment. And then I'm going to add an additional smaller star to this top corner along with my number. And then I can add those pictures to my pocket. Before I do that, I'm going to decorate that just a little bit with a journal cut apart. You see I've only added a little adhesive to the side where I won't accidentally seal up my pocket, and I finished that off with just an additional star. So for this page, I've got that very cool skeleton picture, and I want to incorporate some elements to hide that smoky background. It looked very cool when I took the picture, but it doesn't have a lot of contrast, so it is a little bit hard to see all those details. And I also want to cover up that sign from the parking lot. So I'm just going to add that here, and I am printing that on my Canon selfie printer, which already has that great white border so that I don't have to include an additional layering of paper to get that nice border. So I think what I want to do is just begin to bring in some elements that will help to disguise that. Here is a couple of other pictures that were part of that attraction. And so instead of having the same pocket as the previous page, I decided to create an envelope. This is made with single-sided paper to help reduce bulk, and it is a non-directional pattern. So when I folded all of those bits in, it will not read as any part of it being upside down. I'm going to position that here closer to the edge and then layer on another pattern. This will give me some additional space to have my sticker layers, and also brings in another color block, and that makes the layout a little bit more interesting. So you can see my pictures are in that envelope pocket now. This is pattern paper that I got while on the design team for Bo Bunny. I worked for them for several years, and so I did have some of this left over. I just fussy cut that out, and I think it makes a really good layering background. So I've got my star there, and I'm topping it with some sentiment strips, and the spider web on the bottom has one house here added. I'm going to include another house with a little bit smaller footprint. Here is a really fun pumpkin and a star. And then of course I do want to include a couple of sentiment strips here as well for balance. Now back to that challenging page. One more of the spider webs will help to create a background. Here is a house that matches the other side, and I'm going to include this sentiment along with some additional glitter stars just to fill that in. Here's another larger sentiment with a more unique shape that does help to knock out some of that background. And then my numbers are thickers, and that doesn't completely cover that sign, but it does does knock it back far enough so that it isn't quite as obvious. So here is the layout for story 21. Now for story 22, I'm really going for these beautiful nature pictures. Tech Hubby and I went to the park to have a hike, and so I took some pictures of these beautiful leaves. Michigan has the most beautiful fall foliage and change of season, so I like to document that. And then wherever we are when it's football season, we do have to stop and check the score. So Tech Hubby is on the dock of that beautiful lake and checking out the Michigan game. So these are very large pictures, and my goal really is to capture the beautiful nature. So I'm not going to add quite as many layers. This will be a much more minimal layout. And then 2 large pictures will really take up quite a lot of that background. I'm going to put these what would probably appear to be upside down, but you will see my logic when I get to that point in a minute. So here are my pictures added, and I want to have my number here on that white background. It's kind of a very distressed wood grain. This would be the only place I think it would be very easy to see it. I did die cut these from a beautiful bronzy colored glitter paper, and I'm adding these first with my Tombow. I want to get these positioned pretty much exactly where I want them so that I don't wiggle them around and cause any of that glue to come out. I think it will be a good idea to place that block on them again and weight that so that they have time to set up as I continue working along. So for this page, I decided to reach for my fall stickers, and so I've got a couple of leaves here topped with a wood grain slice, so it has all those beautiful rings, and then another one of my glitter stars. This is a good base for my layering, and then I'll add a couple of my sentiment strips to the top. You see I went over the edge there. That kind of makes it a little bit more interesting. And then I do have an additional sentiment here for the bottom, and that will complete the page for the right hand side. And I've got more of my fall stickers. This collection had some beautiful gourds along with the pumpkin, so I'm incorporating those as well, along with another star and one more sentiment strip. And that's a fairly simple set of pages, but I really wanted the pictures to stand out. So that's going to be it for stories 20 through 22 of our Documenting October album. If you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can find links to our social media sites in the description below. And as always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye!